Hey, good evening, Mark. For the second straight year, Washington State's season ends in disappointment here in San Diego, here in the Holiday Bowl. This one certainly looked very different than last year against Minnesota, when both teams really had a tough time getting anything started. Evan, the Spartans simply dominated from start to finish tonight.
Yeah, and the offense stalled early on in the game. Honestly, the offense really didn't have the ball often in the first half because they kept going 3 and out, and the Michigan State offense was just dominating Washington State on defense, and we're going to break all that down shortly. But there was a bigger story entering the matchup that we need to talk about.
Yeah, there's no question about it. The huge question since about Tuesday of this week, would Luke Falk be healthy and available to play for the Cougs? And that was in question right until the opening kickoff. He warmed up on the field, went through the pregame routine, had to wonder if there's some smoke and mirrors, and sure enough, when they took the field for the start of the game, Luke Falk was in sweats, and Tyler Hilinski was the man that got the start. Falk was clearly emotional on the sideline to start the game. You could tell it even pregame as well. Started pumping up his guys as the game went on, but just a disappointing sight. All that he's done for this program, all that he's meant for this team, to not be able to play. Now, Mike Leach, always evasive when asked about injuries, was evasive when asked the first couple times tonight, but when he was asked directly if the plan was always for him to miss the game or if he was truly a game time decision, Leach finally opened up about the situation.
Well, I guess we had a sense of it. Yeah, we had a sense of it that he wasn't going to play, which is unfortunate because of what he's done here. But we have to look out for what's in his best interest and best interests of our players.
It stunk. Luke's a great guy, and he's done a lot of great things for this program, and not being able to go out one last time with his teammates was tough.
That is a tough blow, obviously, but Tyler Hilinski is the quarterback of the future, you presume, for this Washington State football team, and he got the start tonight. Unfortunately, we did not see him very much in the first half because Michigan State was all over. Brian Lewerke hits Cody White for a touchdown, then a beautiful move by Lewerke to throw a 49-yard bomb to Felton Davis III. Michigan State up 14-3 in the second half, and right before halftime, L.J. Scott with a 3-yard run makes it 21-3. And really, Michigan State just controlled the tempo the entire first half.
And that did not slow down to start the second. Lewerke really was phenomenal and did a lot of damage with his feet. We've heard it again and again. Alex Grinch's defense have struggled against dual-threat quarterbacks. On another scramble drill, rolling to his left, has a pass deflected into the hands of Cody White. 2 straight years, a deflection touchdown against the Cougs, made it 28-3. Lewerke did get banged up in this game, took a big hit in the third. Damian Terry came in, and he used his legs to give the Cougs more headaches, a 6-yard score. 5 straight touchdown drives for the Spartans. I would say as bad as an Alex Grinch defense has looked for WSU. Late in the third, offensively finally get it rolling. Tyler Hilinski to Tay Martin. Talk about a kid with an incredible future. The freshman, 14-yard grab to make it 35-10. Then found him again going across the field to make it 35-17. At that point, though, there was no doubt about the way this game was going. L.J. Scott had a 28-yard score, 110 for the game, 42-17 the final. A disappointing performance all around for the Cougs.
I didn't think we played well consistently on defense, and then we never could get them off the field. And they had the luxury of using the clock, and then they, were able to keep our offense off the field most of the night. And then offensively, I thought the first half, I thought some of our youth on offense was exposed the first half, but then we got in sync. But then, it started to get away from us, and we never, we didn't get them off the field the second half either.
They dominated us in all 3 aspects of the game. I thought they're just a really well-coached team and very physical throughout all 4 quarters.
They completely flexed on the Cougs, and it started in the first quarter, and they never really relented. All right, we talked about Luke Falk. Got to talk about Tyler Hilinski. As you mentioned, tough to evaluate his performance just because Michigan State dominated in terms of controlling the football.
Yeah, when you look back at the first half, I really don't know if There were just some execution errors. There was a drop pass, which resulted in a 3-and-out. Then the next drive, there was another drop pass. And then by the fourth time they got the ball, it was the end of the half. So we really didn't get a feel for Tyler Holinsky. He had that nice drive that led to a field goal. But the big story here was just how bad the defense was. The Apple Cup was a joint effort. Both sides looked badly. This one was really badly for the defense. And Alex Grinch, with stories that have come out throughout the entire offseason since the Apple Cup ended, saying that he is heading to Ohio State for the 10th assistant job. He goes out with his defense, giving up 440 yards of total offense to Michigan State. The quarterback runs for 73 yards on 14 carries, and the main running back runs for 110 on 18.
Yeah, it didn't help the defense's cause when the offense really struggled to get any momentum. A lot of 3-and-outs in the first half. The final book on Tyler Holinsky, 272 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Completed a high percentage of his passes, but just 5.4 yards per attempt. That's a number you want closer to 7 or 8. Beyond, for Michigan State, it was 10.1 yards per attempt. So that gives you some context. Here's Leach on the play of his young quarterback.
I thought once he got in a rhythm, he did well. I thought he did well once he got in a rhythm and, pushed the ball downfield pretty well. The biggest thing, Michigan State kept us off the field, and we squandered some opportunities on 3rd down, and then Michigan State kept us off the field, so we didn't get the ball very, as many plays or as often as we'd like.
And I just wonder if you could just evaluate your own play, how you felt like it went for you tonight.
We didn't win, so not good.
You can't really argue with that, and that's the attitude you want from your quarterback. Look, just a tough one all around. No huge concerns from Holinsky's performance, certainly. It's a weird situation to be in for WSU because as the season goes on, you realize more and more how much you're looking ahead to the future. How many of those young guys like Tate Martin, Renard Bell, Jameer Calvin, Jihad Woods, a bunch of cornerbacks, guys in the secondary that are going to be coming back, linebackers that were forced into action. A weird season because at one point, number 8 team in the country, just outside the college football playoff, and then things ended up in a difficult way, especially with the Apple Cup and now this one.
Yeah, I do want to also mention that this season there were 30-some-odd underclassmen that played for Washington State under Mike Leach, and that tied a record during his tenure here at Washington State. I think that the home games early obviously gave them a very favorable start. They started to pick up momentum, and then towards the middle to the end of the season, the no bye week thing sort of tapped in. They had a couple of down games where they just didn't perform up to ability. Luke Falk obviously at some point was injured, and it might have been earlier in the season when we didn't know about it. I just think when we look back at the season, they probably exceeded expectations. And I think that's the way to kind of look at this. Can't sugarcoat the way it ended. Yeah. It was ugly, but when we can look at the big picture, there's still reasons to be optimistic for the future. And again, a 9-win season isn't anything to scoff at.
And if you look at the situation they're in, Hercules Mataafa out the first half. Their starting quarterback, who owns every record in the Pac-12, out. Lose their top 2 wideouts. I mean, the deck was stacked against them in a number of ways. And look, Michigan State just played a great football game. Yeah. It ended up being lopsided, to say the least. Holiday Bowl, the 2017 edition. We'll have more as we continue to break down a disappointing ending to the Cougs season coming up on KREM 2 News at 11. Mark, send it back to you.